Greetings, fellow book lovers, and welcome back to Colin's Corner. Alright, we are here today to do a wrap-up of my reading month in December and to touch on the books that I would like to read in January. But of course, before we begin, we have to go over the answer for the last Comedy with Colin segment, where I asked you guys to joke. What do you call a policeman in bed? The answer? An undercover cop. Alright, with that out of the way, let's get on with the first book that I finished in the month of December. Now, I only finished 2 books in the month of December. They were both relatively long. And this first one I did on audio, but I have it here and I will hold it up. It is A Feast for Crows. This is the 4th book, of course, in A Song of Ice and Fire by George R.R. Martin. Now, for those of you that do not know, this is my first time through the books. I have seen the show, but I've never read the books before, so this is my first journey to Westeros, and I'm really enjoying it so far. The chaos and the multitude of people fighting for the Iron Throne in A Clash of Kings and A Storm of Swords is kind of dying down a bit in A Feast for Crows, and there were less people vying for the seat at King's Landing in this book, and it felt to me more like the most serious players in the game have kind of risen to the top in A Feast for Crows. So I enjoyed very much so the thematic work in A Feast for Crows, where Martin did a fantastic job of exploring things like motherhood, family loyalty, loyalty in general to the throne, to commitments that you've made, to promises that you've made. And of course the theme of power, which is kind of just a through line in this series. The power of, how power affects people when they have it, how attaining power affects people and changes people, or how chasing power in this world has these characters doing things that they never would have pictured, that we never would have pictured as the readers, them doing. So overall, I really enjoyed A Feast for Crows. Although it's not my favorite, I think my favorite is probably still A Storm of Swords. It's just such an incredible book, A Storm of Swords is. But I really enjoyed this. It felt like a little bit of a change of pace, and I do know that just through some reading online and hearing people talk about it, Martin had originally written this and A Dance with Dragons to be one really long book, and the publisher forced him to split it down the middle. So from what I understand, this book and A Dance with Dragons, sorry, I blanked out there for a second, were meant to be one story, and I didn't really get the feeling that this was abruptly cut off or anything, but there was a whole other aspect of the world and things going on concurrent to the things that are in this novel that I do really want to learn about. So I'm very excited to at some point get to A Dance with Dragons. I don't know when that's going to be, but I will definitely be reading that sometime, probably in the first half of 2024. Alright, the next book that I managed to finish in December was, come on buddy, bada-boom, bada-boom. There we go. Dragon Keeper, Book 2 of the Rainwilds Chronicles by Robin Hobb. And so this was an interesting one for me. Now, I did say in my last wrap-up video that Dragon Keeper, the first book in the Rainwilds, is probably my least favorite book in the realm of the Elderlings so far. That does not mean I didn't enjoy it. I did enjoy it. I think that the plot of the Rainwilds Chronicles is very intriguing, and my issue personally thus far has been that I haven't really felt very connected to the characters, especially not in book 1. This did improve with Dragonhaven, and I felt like by the end of book 2 I had developed a deeper connection and interest in the characters in this series and was genuinely invested in many of their fates and where their story was going to end up at the end of this book. So for me, it still doesn't come very close to the characters in Farseer, Live Ship Traders, or the Tawny Man trilogy. But I do still have 2 books to go since this is a tetralogy, so It's trending in the correct direction, and like I said, I really enjoy the plot. I think the plot is awesome. Very, very cool plot in the Readalong Chronicles, and some plot events that will affect other aspects of this world that I deeply care about when some of these things start to get uncovered by the other areas in Robin Hobb's world. Book 2, again, I liked it more than Dragon Keeper, but still I think that so far, after 2 books, the Readalong Chronicles is still probably my least favorite book in the realm of the Elderlings. It definitely is my least favorite so far. But I'm really enjoying it, and I will be having a discussion, a spoiler discussion for both books 1 and 2, with Books from Benghis Khan. That will be this upcoming Sunday, January 7th at 10 a.m. So I am also in the middle of 2 books that I did not finish. Well, not directly the middle, but close to the middle for both of them. And the first of those is going to be, boom, Memories of Ice. The third book in the Malazan Book of the Fallen, of course, by Steven Erikson. And I'd say I'm about 60% through this one as of right now, and I'm extremely invested and bought in on this book and this series in general. A new and massive threat to this world has been introduced in Memories of Ice and is absolutely terrifying. There's so many complicated relationships between characters and groups put on display in this book, and I'm not entirely sure how Erikson is able to keep things straight when he's writing these books. His writing style and storytelling ability continue to amaze me and entice me and draw me into really wanting to just explore this text, explore this world, and just learn more about it. It's such a unique fantasy reading experience for me thus far in my journey. I think that it's so hard to tell, like, I think Dead House Gates, as of right now, Dead House Gates is still my favorite so far of the first 3 books, but I've got a lot of this book left, and I was just talking about this in one of my live streams. Every time I feel like Erikson has hit a level of amazement and, like, wow factors are very high, he somehow gets to another level, and I'm like, oh, this is getting way deeper. And then I'm like, I can't get much deeper than this, but this is crazy. Then he goes to another level, and like it just feels like this constant leveling up, and it amazes me that he's able to just create such a layered story within each of these books in the series that I've read so far. So I'm really, really enjoying Memories of Ice, and I can't wait to see how this one ends. Another book that I've started and I'm working my way through is The Dark Half by Stephen King. Now this I am reading with my sister, and we are just discussing it periodically, so we'll just kind of slightly arbitrarily pick a stopping point and plan a little discussion. It's a way for us to keep contact, kind of consistent contact with each other, and a way for both of us to explore more of Stephen King's works, because she is a recent fan who just finally finished It, and she's been collecting some books from thrift stores, some Stephen King books when she sees them, and there's still plenty that I haven't read yet, so we're using this as kind of a way to keep in touch and to explore more of Stephen King's works. And as of right now, I just finished the second part in The Dark Half, and it's getting crazier and crazier as they plots of Stephen King books typically do, and so far I'm really enjoying it. I think it's another great example of just how wild Stephen King's imagination can be when he gets hold of an idea and just kind of goes, well, what if that actually happened? What would that look like? How crazy could this be? And with this idea specifically, I think it scared the crap out of his wife Tabitha, and I'd be interested to hear his thoughts on the writing process of this book, if he really pulled a lot from, you know, his personal feelings, his personal experience, his personal emotions as a writer of some darker stuff. And anyways, needless to say, we'll see how he sticks to landing, but so far, through the first 2 parts of this book, I am enjoying it a decent amount. It's not going to be one of my all-time favorite Stephen King reads, but so far it's been really fun. Alright, now I'm just going to briefly go over my plans for the month of January, what I want to read, and the first 2 are going to be easy because I just talked about both of them, so I do hope to finish both Memories of Ice and The Dark Half in the month of January. I am past the halfway point in both of them and kind of rolling with steam right now. So I'm excited to see how both of those finish. And the next book that I will be starting that I have not yet started is, and this is what I'm very excited about. I can't wait to show you guys this cover. The Spear Cuts Through Water by Simon Jimenez. Look at this cover. Look at those colors. Blue is my favorite color, and I love all these blues. So, this book has acquired a lot of hype in our corner of BookTube. Maybe not in BookTube or Book Talk, whatever, at large, but in our specific corner and a lot of the people that I follow, this book has a lot of hype right now. And I'm very excited to hop on the hype train for once. I don't do it very often. Typically, I kind of wait for things to die down. Not to be that guy, but I just like to assess things from a more objective standpoint. And I feel like when books are super hyped, it's hard to do that sometimes. But I'm very, very, very excited to get to The Spear Cuts Through Water by Simon Jimenez. I really don't have much of an idea of what I'm getting into with this one, but from what I understand, Jimenez structured this in a very unique way. He uses a series of a story within a story within a story, and I'm not sure how many layers that goes to. I think maybe 5 or 6 stories within stories. But it's, so I heard Matt from Matt on Books recently talk about this. It seems like that structure would not work, or you'd wonder how can you pull that off and have it be a cohesive narrative in what isn't very long of a book. I mean, it's not long for a fantasy lover. It's 518 pages, my soft cover is. And so that's not a lot of page time to do what I think is 4 or 5 stories, maybe layered within one another. But Matt from Matt on Books said recently that even though this does sound like it couldn't work, Jimenez pulls it off beautifully. And I'm very excited to be getting this one. I just literally before I filmed this video went to check the mail because I had ordered it, and I just got this today. So I pulled the Amazon perforated part of the package off and pulled this beautiful cover out, and I was really, really excited. So after work today, I'm going to dip into this one. And if you didn't know, our Discord server, which is a shared Discord from many of the other class of 2023 booktubers that I am friends with, called An Unexpected Party, is hosting a read-along of The Spear Cuts Through Water. So if this sounds like something that you might want to try, you've still got some time to hop on with us. Dan from the Black and Blue Collar Reader is the one that kind of organized this thing, and I think he wants to break the discussions in our Discord up chapter by chapter. So I know a lot of people have already started this. I know a lot of people have already read this, and I'm excited to add my name to that list. And if you would like to add your name to that list, I will put the link to our Discord in the description of this video. We would love to have you. And lastly, I am hoping that time provides for this. This is the last book I would like to start, but probably not finish. I said this in December with the same book. But start, but probably not finish, The Profit of Edan. The second book in the Edan trilogy by Philip Chase. I kind of just got busy with the holidays. We were very busy traveling, doing holiday stuff at the end of December, and I just didn't get quite as much reading done as I thought I was going to or that I wanted to, and that's okay. Which kind of leads me to the next point that I want to just toss out there. Recently, I've been trying to reduce some of the stress that I sometimes impose on myself when it comes to trying to finish books within a given month. Because I do these wrap-ups and I do these TBRs, and a lot of times I want to have a complete thought about a book before I talk to you guys about it, but I realized that doesn't really matter. I can just give you guys updates about where I'm at and take my time with these books and really just be present with them, because sometimes, especially towards the end of the month, I will find myself really rushing, staying up later than I normally do, sometimes because I'm really enjoying the book, but sometimes it's because I want to finish it so that I can talk about it in my wrap up, or it doesn't matter. I'm going to read them as fast or as slowly as I read them, and I'm going to talk about them when I get them finished or update you guys about where I'm at. So that's my plan for January and my wrap up for December. So what I want to know is, what do you guys plan on kicking off the year of 2024 reading. Will you be joining us in the Spear Cuts Through Water read-along? Like I said, it is a little bit into the month now, but you've still got some time. We're doing it for the entire month of January, so if you want to hop on with that, please do. If not, tell me what else you're reading. If you're new to the channel, comment down below so that I can say hello. We've had a lot of growth recently, especially over the last month, and I'd love to get to know more of you guys that have supported my channel by subscribing. So please at least just say hello in the comments so that I can say hello back to you. Now it is time for comedy with Colin. Today's joke, guys, is going to be, where do polar bears keep their money? If you think you know the answer, add it to your comment, and I will tell you if you are right or wrong. As always, guys, I hope you are all enjoying what you're currently reading, and remember, you're always welcome in Colin's Corner.